In section 5.3, beginning on page 346, we are told to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials. So we can add polynomials in multiple ways. We can add them vertically, such as this first example, or horizontally, and we're going to cover both. So in my first example, I have 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 3x minus 9 plus x cubed plus 6x plus 11. So when I add vertically, that is 2x cubed plus 1x cubed, so that is 3x cubed. I want to make sure I line them up according to their terms, so that's a negative 5 plus 6, so that's a positive x squared, 3x plus a 0x, so that's plus 3x, and a negative 9 plus 11, which is a positive 2. So I want to make sure that I have them in standard polynomial form, where the exponents are decreasing, and I end with my constant all the way on the right. So you can add vertically, or you can add horizontally. The trick is making sure that you have correct signs. So one way I said was to go ahead and rewrite it by distributing, in this case, a negative sign. So I have 4z squared plus 9z minus 12 minus 5z squared plus z minus 3. And then you combine your like terms, so 4z squared minus z squared is a negative z squared, and then I cross them out to know that I've already dealt with them. 9 plus 1z is 10z, and a negative 12 minus 3 is minus 15. Exponents are decreasing. I start with my highest power, which is 2, all the way down to my constant. Alright, and on page 347, you can see a couple of special products. So when I go to multiply these pieces, I have a couple of special products, and you can see what they are on that page. They're just some patterns that might help you. So in this case, I'm multiplying 3 different pieces. I'm going to go ahead and just drop down that x minus 5, and then FOIL my next 2 terms. So I have x squared plus 3x, so I'm going to write plus 3x, then plus 1x. So that gives me a plus 4x, and then my last term gives me a plus 3. And then our newer concept here, I can't quite FOIL because I do have a third term here. So instead of FOILing, I'm going to distribute one term and then distribute the next. So when I go to distribute my x, I get x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x. And then when I distribute that negative 5, I need to make sure I distribute the negative sign with it. So that's a minus 5x squared minus 20x minus 15. So I lined them up vertically. You can line them up horizontally. It doesn't really matter. So x cubed minus x squared minus 17x minus 15 in standard polynomial form, with my decreasing exponents, with a starting power of 3 all the way down to my constant. Alright, in an example like this one, all I need to do is distribute that x. So that becomes a 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 7x. This is not a FOIL situation or multiple distributions. It's just multiplication. In this example, one party foul that we talked about in class, that is not going to be 8x squared minus 9 or 64x squared minus 9 or changing those to a plus 9. Those aren't going to be your answers. I suggested that you expand and write it out twice. Alright, if you were to look on page 347 for these special product patterns, this is a square of a binomial. So it's a perfect square trinomial is what it will be called. So when you do FOIL, that gives you 8x times 8x, all right, which is your 64x squared. Outside gives you a minus 24x minus 24x, so that's minus 48x, and then a plus 9. As you can see, the difference between that and what some people are going to do, you're missing a middle term, and that does make a large difference, not only mathematically, but especially when you're using this in real life and messing with some people's money. So just be careful with that. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to see me before school or email me. As always, good luck studying.